Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Piglet here once again. And I'm Mickey Mouse here. We are back for the Maxi Toys. And welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Smash Bros. Melee from the Nintendo GameCube. So last time that we're pretty sure we managed to tackle through our first ever character in the All-Star mode, which was Dr. Mario. And today for this episode, we're about to return back into Classic mode and choose one of the final two characters ever since the original game came out on the Nintendo 64, and that honor goes to Captain Falcon and Jigglypuff. But which one should we choose first? Let's go ahead and find out as soon as we actually press our lovely green button here. And then, yeah, it has been a while since we're actually gonna come back to this game, and the reason being for that is because a couple of Let's Plays that, the other toys have recently managed to completely done and finish, so even then though, we're about to return back into Melee now, and possibly some other current Let's Plays, although it's not gonna happen until, the next year actually, because today was actually the 29th of December. We only got about 3 more days to go until the new year is about to come, 2017. But even then though, that we'll explain more into 2016 until later on, as soon as we actually move on to the next couple of videos ahead. But anyways though, so here we go. Classic mode as Captain Falcon for today's session, for this recording session. So, and here we have a new type of stage we've actually been into, and that was actually the Brimstar Devs. And then this is actually the unlockable stage, and I'm pretty sure in order to unlock this stage, is the fact I believe you're gonna have to play through 50 versus matches in the Melee mode, which I'm presuming that levels is going, so. For this level's gimmick though, is the fact that you're gonna have to traverse for the level obstacles, and then every time when you have this giant, the monster thing right there, even though granted though we haven't played other Metroid games for a long amount of times, but even then though, the main premise of that is that every time when he uses his claw attack, he will traverse the stage around, so even then though you're so much of trying to walk around in the stage or what have you, but the only challenge thing is the fact that you're gonna have to keep an eye on the platforms to see if there's anything. Well, that was really weird. Yeah, for some reason, Mario just trying to strike on me, but all of a sudden, he actually misses that out, and even then, he completely falls himself on purpose, which is pretty sporadic. But anyway though, so how it works for Captain Falcon? He plays exactly like how it does in the original game in the Nintendo 64 installment, but in addition to, you know, the side special attacks introduced in this game as usual, so in this case we have a brand new move for Captain Falcon to perform. Like, for instance, that RBC, he can obviously do a Falcon Punch when you actually just press the B button all by its own. And then also, if you press the up B attack, it allows you to do a little bit of a jump recovery. And also, that if you actually be using the down B attack, you'll do a Falcon Kick. And then finally, the side or special attacks and what have you, in this case the melee attacks and stuff, you'll actually perform themselves a little bit of a let's just say a Falcon uppercut. I'm presuming that's going to happen. So even then though, such though, much like the original game, he's in flames every time when he uses those attacks. So even then though, here we are at the Captain Falcon's Break the Targets level, and as you can tell, everything's all metallic core, and even then, it's almost like a reference to the ones in the similar stage as what it does whenever you approach into Mute City or something like that. So it's basically Mute City first, but like you see there's a little go sign over there, but apart from that though, there are no F-Zero vehicles to be seen. So anywho, but even then though, that out of all the characters you're actually going to be playing as in Super Smash Bros. Melee, not until when we get to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and even Super Smash Bros. 4 even, that Captain Falcon is easily the fastest player in the entirety of the character roster in Melee. So even then though, it might be I might find him a little bit too tricky to control sometimes, even especially current situations in mid-air. But apart from those sides of things, god dang it, we actually got beat up by the weakest character, Pichu. But hey, as long as we actually just trying to hope for God forbid if we actually trying to first against with you know, Crazy Head and Master Hand eventually, so you know. But hey, as long as if we're actually trying to beat those opponents in the quickest time rather than just actually constantly wasting our stocks for the whole time, so even then though, we're hoping to God forbid if we actually just did not to waste any long dragged out battles until, you know, until later on, but even then we'll get into that eventually. So anyways, here we go with Giant Yoshi. I don't think we actually encounter him though, I don't think. And we actually move on into a new type of stage, which was the Yoshi's Story, based off of the stage from Yoshi's Story, obviously. And basically, it does have its gimmick on that particular level, when it contains, you know these little outlines of the far left? Yeah, these clouds you can see on screen on the left, and even the right eventually. That way you can hop into those clouds as opposed to platforms. Even then though, you can actually be perfectly safe from that situation. There's also a very similar stage from this, but even then though, we'll explain more to that as soon as we actually get into the actual, well, we're probably not going to show the extra stuff in this Let's Play, unfortunately, but even then though, we'll briefly trying to showcase for that, as long as if we actually get some time for that particular point so we're ahead of you. But anywho though, so now as I mentioned earlier that today was actually the 29th of December 2016, and as we mentioned earlier, we only got 3 more days to go until the actual New Year 2017. But even then though, as I mentioned earlier, that we'll explain more into that stuff until we actually get to later in doing some other parts. So anywho, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna showcase the extra video and stuff. So even then though, that we'll you know, 3 trophies for the win. About time actually. So anyways, here we go with a new well, in this case another cutie character fight, and that is Kirby himself. So anyways, you get the idea. So Captain Falcon, he plays exactly like how he does in the original game, but even then though, he's quite more accurately faster this time around, I believe. Well, not until when we get to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and even Smash 4 for that, mind you. There's also a, oh, we're actually going to be teaming up, face off against with Team Mr. Game & Watch, even though it has been a while since we actually got to come towards these guys. Ever since the first part of this Let's Play, actually. Even though that's actually kind of weird and quite ironic, but anyway. So, yeah, basically, the only time it makes it trickier from trying to control Captain Falcon, especially in mid-air, is the fact that there was this actually devastating kneecap attack, which you can, like, devastatingly blow these opponents on purpose. But even then, though, sometimes I found myself about to get a little bit stuck and trickier to actually deal with these opponents while actually doing a kneecap attack. And it's all about timing too, if you actually be more precise and aiming and stuff. Even though right now we're getting butt kicked by these Mr. Game & Watches until right now. Even though we could potentially... God dang it. But it doesn't really matter too much. Even then, though, we're hoping to actually face off against with Crazy Hand eventually, alongside with Master Hand. So there's only 3 stocks lost due to Pichu kicked our butt, and also that Mr. Game & Watch, specifically Team Mr. Game & Watch, I should say, just kick our butts like 2 times. Even then, we'll manage to actually just, you know. Even though I don't think we actually waste our time on that match, I don't think. So anyways, here we go, race to the finish, and we have less time compared to the other characters, because obviously Captain Falcon is really fast. So even then, hopefully we can actually just make it towards the end with him, so... But even then, that is not really too much of a discussion to think of, but I digress though, so... I think we've been to the lava area for long enough, so even then we haven't been to the spike sections for quite some time now. But anywho, oh god, as long as we actually get ourselves the momentum that's been going on with going up. But as long as we actually, oh frick. I don't think there's any way to actually reach towards the very end though. But at least we'll actually get to this exit though, as long as we can take it. Alright, so I believe we're gonna face off against with Metal Dr. Mario. Fascinating. Because if you remember the game called Dr. Mario 64, which is essentially the only exclusive Mario Nintendo 64 game, only exclusive to North America, which only came out on that country. But even though, except Japan, or even United Kingdom, I don't know why they not to release that game on Europe, and even Japan even. But at least they got a Chinese re-release on during the IQ player, which is essentially the I don't know what that IQ player means, but even then we'll discuss more into that as soon as we actually continue this Let's Play. So Even as such though, we only got 10 more characters to showcase, even though that we're actually going to be doing the last 2 playable characters in Classic Mode. And currently in Adventure Mode, we only have like 3 more characters left. And then we only have like 5 characters left in doing All-Star Mode. So even then though, I'm pretty sure that we can actually get this game done until next year or something. Until we actually just move on into the new sets of Let's Plays and stuff. Although, usually kind of speaking of such though, we'll find out until then. So anywho. So do we get ourselves Crazy Hand? Yep, in fact we do. In fact, this might actually be the, I'm presuming the 9th time that we're actually going to be facing towards him. Because, you know, unlike Samus or Fox, that we didn't seem to actually face off with him or even killed him. So, but even then though, this might be the 9th time doing this. So even then though, that until when it gets to Jigglypuff when we get into that tomorrow, that hopefully we can actually just provide to actually deal with both Master Hand and Crazy Hand on the same time. With that being said though. So anywho, we got hit, but that's okay. So anywho, yeah, a few things we want to mention about certain things is the fact that obviously that judging by the standpoint that obviously that since this is now the 16th part at the moment of this Let's Play currently, even though as we mentioned earlier, we only have like 10 character showcase because obviously, you know. Okay, so I guess there's not much else to say. Well, besides the point that they actually bring up some new informations on, well, obviously they've now showcased the overview trailer in English version of Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. Even though so, that's mostly the case, and yeah, that's all there is to know. Even though they show the exact same content as what it previously showed on Japan's overview trailer. Then speaking of Yoshi's Woolly World, in this case Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World for the 3DS, we mostly got ourselves a new amiibo, which was dreamed a few days ago, and that was the form of the Young Yoshi amiibo, specifically the green one. Now you're probably thinking, what about the other 2 colors, mainly the pink and the light blue one? Well, I might as well have to find out and find myself, and then even then it might take me some time to actually get those 2. Now I really don't know if we're going to be getting the Mega version, because even though it does functions the same thing as the green Yon Yoshi, but minus with the much more taller and even much more bigger than the normal sized Yon Yoshi. But yeah, at least the amiibo itself looks really, really adorable and cute at the same time. But anyway, we'll talk more to that as soon as we actually get into the final character in the Classic Mode department, which was Jigglypuff. So anyways, that concludes Classic Mode for Captain Falcon. The number 7 of the, you know, the F-Zero pilot. Because as you can tell from the trophy design. And usually speaking as such, his first ever game that he's ever appeared on is obviously F-Zero from the Super Nintendo, and also F-Zero X for the Nintendo 64 and Nintendo 64 DD, in this case disc drive, because it's usually did manage to get 2 variations of F-Zero X, which is the standard version on the cartridge formation of the N64 version, and then there's also the disc drive version, which is the expansion pack version. So. And yeah, this was before F-Zero GX came out on the Nintendo GameCube in 2003. But even then though, that Captain Falcon do make its returning appearances from other Nintendo games. Most likely the previous Super Smash Bros. Game on the Nintendo 64 and now Super Smash Bros. Melee. So yeah, you get the suggestions. Show me your moves. That's how I like. So anyways, we're gonna have to end things off here, so join me next time on Let's Play, or Piglet I should say, for some more Super Smash Bros. Melee. Then we're gonna go back into Classic Mode and do the final character in Classic Mode as we mentioned earlier, Jigglypuff. So that way, that'll be it. So see you guys next time. Later fellas.